And welcome to episode 712 of Hard Factor. It's Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. I'm Will. We got Wes, Mark, and Pat. Full house today. All four hosts ready to come together and share thoughts on the biggest news stories of the day.
Is 712 like a number for anything? We missed 710.
Okay.
711 we get like 710.
710 was like some guy
Split.
was like
710
Blaze, bro.
Yeah.
Blaze, bro. And then
Yeah.
I was like, I smoked too much oil to remember 710.
Right. So there's like a weed connotation of 710, like 420. Is 712 like a sex position, like 6'9" that we're missing or something? Is it like is it like a wrestling move or something?
12.
Okay.
I don't think so.
712.
Let us know if we forgot it.
I don't think so, but check this out. You guys see that?
Oh,
You guys see that shirt?
What is that?
Oh, yeah.
Taz Life.
Taz Life.
My Taz tees finally came in. Got a Taz Life tee, a party animal Taz tank top. So if you watch youtube.com/hardfactornews, like and subscribe and check out the Taz tees. But also more importantly than that, this is just the inspiration for Tiz. The Tiz design that's coming out. So
just an inspiration, not a copyright infringement.
just
No.
an inspiration.
Not at all. You know, I was thinking, I did a little bit of digging last night because I was thinking, like, when Tiz finally emerges, when we have our Tiz line of merch,
It's
who,
coming.
by the way, if you're new to the show, it's Taz, but a little bit dumber.
It's
a little bit
slower.
stranger.
It's even slower,
Cousin.
dumber cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taz with a learning disability.
That's
Obviously,
Tiz.
that's Tiz. Tiz is here. Tiz the season. It'd be great to have a Tiz the season holiday. But obviously, we're gonna have like
the dog.
right. Obviously, we're gonna have normal, screen printed shirts. But I was looking to see if there's a screen printer that can print where it looks like it's airbrushed. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
that
it
would be
looks like
awesome.
you
Yeah,
got
you
it.
got it at a
Florida,
fair.
Florida
Yeah.
style, Florida shirt.
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got
We're
flea
gonna
market.
try. I'm
Yeah.
sure the technology exists.
Bubble print and then spray.
Tiz has grabbed so many cattails and yanked on them.
And like
Oh,
an
yeah.
RIP. And
Tiz would
then,
love my house.
TJ or a DJ blow. RIP TJ. And then Tiz.
Cat's
Yeah.
big nightmare.
Tiz life. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm so into Tiz. I'm thinking about a Tiz tattoo, maybe either that or a whale.
Oh yeah. Well, we got an illustrator, and the illustrator gave us like first crack and almost perfect Tiz. So we're like, he's like, send notes, and we're like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be out
Yeah.
soon.
It's coming.
Maybe a tattoo of Tiz riding a whale. That'd be
Ooh,
badass.
holy
Ooh.
shit.
Yeah. Stuff coming up. Pigs in a blanket contest.
Yes.
It's going to be live streamed this Saturday, the start of summer. #Fatboy Summer. This Saturday, the four of us will live stream it. It'll be live everywhere. You can watch us see who eats the most pigs in a blanket. It's Power Hour style. 1 pig in a blanket per minute. We're going to see who's the
Until
last man
we
standing.
Tap out, last man standing.
Saturday afternoon.
So these are crescent rolls over little weenies.
That's right. Classic pig in a blanket. Swish, some call it.
What are we allowed to drink and stuff like that? Just
Nothing.
Whatever. What?
What?
You absolutely can have a beverage.
Oh, I mean, you can. You're allowed to.
There's
if
like
you
no
wanna lose the
restrictions
competition.
besides throwing up, or
I'm going to
Yeah,
be
you
dipping mine in mustard.
we can't drink that.
You're gonna put condiments. You can. No, you can drink
Absolutely.
if you want to lose.
Absolutely condiments, and I will have
I'm
some
so
beverages
confused.
to
We're
wash.
not
Out.
allowed
Why
to-
would you want to put extra stuff in your stomach?
Like
You're gonna have
water.
zero
I mean,
liquids at all.
I'm going to
I
enjoy
don't know.
this.
Okay. Okay, so you can like dip it in water and stuff, right, and wash your mouth down there.
You could.
That's gonna be so dehydrated.
That's a lot of salt without water.
His mouth is just totally
You're
covered.
gonna
in white
hear a lot
foam.
of that.
What are you, Tiz? I don't know if
Yeah.
you can get away with that.
Listen up.
It's like a saltine.
It's cotton mouth right there.
Yeah.
You already
Yeah.
got it. It's gonna be even worse after
The
the
preview.
All right. So no restrictions besides throwing up. You can't throw up. That's it.
Yeah. last
Sure.
man standing.
All right.
We'll find out Saturday afternoon. After that, there's the pizza. We're gonna have a watch party, like a movie watch party with pizza. That's Friday night, 6/25, June 25th. So get into patreon.com/Hard Factor if you want in on that. Trivia night. Next trivia night is July 16th. Also, that's sending the cards here on patreon.com/Hard Factor. And we're gonna start a new promotion right now. If you get a year-long subscription for either the Pop the Clutch tier or the Send in the Card tier on patreon.com/Hard Factor, you get a free t-shirt with that subscription.
Send us the DM, your shirt and your size and your address. T-shirt, free t-shirt.
Look at that.
And don't
Mhm.
wait for Tiz to come out. You can sign up, and then you'll get first dibs on Tiz.
And then
That's
cash
true.
in on the
Just
Tiz.
write like XL Tiz. Here's my name and address.
Yep.
That's the move, honestly. Yeah. Well,
What
that's
a deal.
That's a
Ow.
huge deal.
You
What a
are going to
deal.
want to get your Tiz tea quickly because honestly, we got probably 3 weeks before we get a cease and desist from Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna want that for Six Flags. When you go to Six Flags, there's gonna be no better shirt to wear than a
People are
Tiz
gonna
shirt.
be like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great point, Pat.
we're all gonna order it too. Pat is the problem. It's like we're gonna order like 3 of them each, so they're gonna sell out quick.
Get them
Yeah.
while it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be very, very hot, especially with that C&D coming in. All right. Anything else, fellas, before we hop into the...
No,
One thing, Wes. So Wes handles the merch. If you don't know, Wes, have you seen with our printer? Do they have like large scale decals, the kinds that would go on the back of a truck window?
Printify. Oh God. They have so that the stickers. I don't know if you saw my my post about the fat. We have some large Fat Boy stickers now
Mhm.
that are like 6x6. So they're pretty decent size. They also have bumper stickers now.
okay.
But the decal that maybe you're talking about that would
Cheat
fit in
on
the
the
whole
news.
window, I don't know if they have that size yet.
Can we get Tiz like nuts for like truck nuts?
But
Tiz being on stuff.
the decals that they have, the stickers they have now, the 6x6 ones are pretty good size. They're like, they're
And
like
you
the
can
size.
you can customize it to Tiz shape.
Yes.
What about
It'll-
mud flaps? They have mud flaps.
They do not have mud flaps. There's no way they'll be getting mud flaps either.
What about Tiz on like a thermos?
Yeah, we can get Tiz on a thermos. We can
Tiz
put
on a
Tiz on.
thermos. I like
Listen,
to drink out
yeah.
of a Tiz cup.
Tiz,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What about a frisbee, a Tisbee?
Tisbee.
Tisbee? I don't know if they have those either. Actually, they might. They might have frisbees.
I can't fucking wait. The Tiz era is about to start. It's going to
Yeah.
be so awesome. Well, that's exciting. Okay, let's hop into what's happening today. It is June 16th. Today's observances are Bloomsday, Fresh Veggies Day. So that, I guess those maybe go hand in hand. International Day of Family Remittances, International Day of the African Child, Ladies' Day, in parentheses, basketball, National Fudge Day.
Why don't they just say ladies basketball day?
Right.
I mean,
Would have been a lot easier.
They were worried no one would celebrate it.
oh,
Ouch.
ba-dum-tsh.
That's true.
That's on a roll.
Ouch. Take that, WNBA.
No, that was a Tisbee quality joke.
No Orange Clothes Day, Wish Fulfillment Day, and World Sea Turtle Day. That's a pretty good one.
Okay,
You guys like sea
Nice.
turtles?
of course.
Yeah.
They
Just
get
making
so
sure after
big.
all the whale slander.
No, sea turtles can't swallow you, but they
Mm-hmm.
are huge. They can get to like 500-700 pounds, and they live to like 150. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
There was one time when we were living on the beach that a giant sea turtle died and like went on shore, and it was so big that PFT commenter started like, we went over and took pictures of it, and he got on top of it and was like, take a picture of me riding it. And then several people sprinted towards him and me who was taking the picture, and I was like, oh, everyone wants to take a picture. This was years ago, way before he was remotely famous. I was like, yeah, it is pretty cool. It's a giant sea turtle. They're like, you morons, those sea barnacles can kill you. They're like 80 years old. The things you're sitting on are poisonous.
Oh,
Get
the
the
ocean.
fuck off the sea turtle.
The ocean will
Holy
fuck
shit.
you up.
And I was like, oh god, thank God it
Lots of
wasn't me.
bacteria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to get a cut and then just go into the ocean. That's a bad idea.
No, it was a hospital trip if he drew blood.
Yeah. On this day in history, June 16th, in 1858, Abe Lincoln accepted the Illinois Republican Party nomination for the Senate. In 1903, Henry Ford founded the Ford Motor Company. Big day. In 1911, IBM was incorporated. In 1933, FDR's first 100 days came to a close on June 16th. And he'd already passed the entire New Deal and created the FDIC. So
Whoa.
moving a little bit faster than the 120 first days that we're going through now. In 1976, South African police firing on demonstrating students in the Soweto area of South Africa sparked the beginning of the end for the apartheid state. And that's what happened on June 16th in history. So,
Henry Ford, famous anti-Semite.
really?
Is he?
You don't
Oh,
say.
God, yeah, he was he hated Jewish people.
Don't you get a pass when you develop the assembly line?
He made a lot of Model Ts.
Yeah.
Too.
He developed it. He created the assembly line in the car. Like, look, that's bad, but that's like if Michael Jackson gets a pass, then Henry Ford gets a pass, right? Like
Everybody's flawed, Mark. I think
Yeah.
that's
Just want to throw
good
this
thing
out there.
to-
Adolf
Okay.
Hitler once said, "I regard Henry Ford as my inspiration."
Wow. That's
probably
fucked up.
because of his assembly line, which
I'm-
led to the Blitzkrieg. Probably, yeah. Well, that was the most efficient thing of all time. The
Assembly line.
I got to go back to the assembly line. on that.
efficiency and anti-Semitism
Yeah.
were high on Hitler's lists. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Hand in hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He wrote a paper called "The International Jew."
All right, you got enough information on Henry Ford? Jesus Christ! What did you do? A paper on him?
I went to his estate one time.
Okay. You retained a lot of information on
Dearborn.
Henry Ford. Yeah.
Well,
What
he
did
made a lot.
What did he say in the International Jew?
I don't know, Wes.
I hate him. I can't stand him.
Not good stuff.
Yeah, probably bad things. All right, let's head to the
What
Daily
points
Buzz.
did he make?
Let's head to the Daily Buzz. Move on from historical stuff on June 16th. Honorable mentions in today's Daily Buzz 2021. All the people that have encouraged me to not stop reporting on sports, space, and aliens in the Daily Buzz, despite the hate that it may generate sometimes from the co-hosts. Thank you for your support. I will not stop doing any of those things. So really
Not all
appreciate it.
not all the co-hosts. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
shout out Mark for enjoying
Yeah.
those segments.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Bryant Foreman in the Hardo Hive. Remember the vaccine expert who gave us a scoop on all the American vaccines and how they work a while back? And he was like spot on about all of us. He taught us about mRNA, whatnot. Turns out he was working on the Novavax vaccine that just got its clinical trial results back. 90.4% effective. Maybe not going to be used by a ton of people in the US because a lot
Okay.
of people here are already vaccinated, but it's not ultra cold storage. So lots of people all over the world are going to benefit from the vaccine. It can just be stored in a regular refrigerator.
You know what I say? It starts with a 9. That's just fine.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nine
That
is-
should get all of its approvals in the next 3 months so it can start being sold.
Very cool.
Nice work by the Hardo Hive. Saving lives out there. Celebrity news, honorable mentions. Rest in peace to actress Lisa Baines. She sadly died 10 days after a hit and run at 65. Mackenzie Scott Bezos trended for being ultra charitable since the divorce. I think she's given away like multiple billions. This most recent one's like almost 3 billion, giving away more billions, just lots of charity. And Kevin Hart trended for hating on cancel culture because he says it's bullshit.
I
But he-
saw
they
him
can't.
on Twitter. Like he's going after everyone that's going after him. He was like, for
He's
all
telling him to shut the fuck
for
up.
all of you that say I'm
Please.
not funny anymore, I have 3 of the top 10 comedies of all stand-up comedies of all time, you motherfuckers. And he's like, people are just like, shut up, you're not funny anymore. He's like, I don't want to hear. Like he's going after it. He's going after everyone online.
Yeah. He's not standing for it. He is funny. I like Kevin Hart.
well historically very, very, very.
He's funny. He's kind of an idiot, but he's funny.
Yeah.
Don't have any problems with Kevin Hart. Hope he continues to do well.
Underrated movies with him and Will Ferrell when he's going to prison. Get Hard. Underrated movie.
Very
Mhm.
good movie.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say very good. It's
It's a lot better than you remember it. Go check it out.
The scene where they they mock the jail riot is great.
Yeah.
You gotta give it.
I watched it recently. It held up better than I thought it would.
Okay, number 5 in the buzz. Ball sports. Sports played with the ball. France beat Germany 1-0 in the biggest match of the opening game in
I
the
was gonna bet on
Euros.
that shit.
What's that?
I was gonna bet on France. I forgot.
Oh, you should have, which I did, and it cashed. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo, became the all-time leading goal scorer in the Euros by scoring 2 more against Hungary. The first one set the record. The 11th goal was just the icing on the cake.
He was hungry. He also did you see the viral thing with him and the kid, or him and the guy that won the competition recently?
No, what do you do?
He some guy like won a walkout with Ronaldo competition, and like his phone wasn't working, so he was like trying to take like a selfie or video of it, and like they're like, "Come on, we got to start the game," and Ronaldo was like, "My fans taking a selfie with me." Shut the fuck up, and waited till his phone rebooted and like did the video with
Dude,
him. Yeah.
Ronaldo does what he wants. Do you guys see that this also happened immediately after he shunned Coca-Cola and was like, drink fucking water? And then Tom Brady was like, seems like the veterans know what they're doing. Tom Brady and Cristiano Ronaldo out there telling you to fuck off with Coca-Cola and drink some water. You drink some water, everybody. Those two guys are telling you to drink the water.
Drink the water.
Not a ball, but a puck. The Knights spanked the shit out of the Habs in game 1 in the NHL semifinals. Live scores at the time we're recording. The Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning are tied at 1, and the Nets and the Bucks are going to tip off.
Can I do the NBA one, Will?
Yeah, sure.
And in the NBA playoffs, my Phoenix Suns wait for the other series. That's basically the update. That's the update.
That's true. Mark's future still looking good.
Got to tell you, as not a basketball guy, just not at all. Pro basketball and me just don't get along. Really cool seeing Quinn Snyder up there. Looking a little older, but when we hung with Quinn, he was down and out. He would come into my bar every day. Every single day. And had been like banished to the D League. And I didn't know shit about him, but I was like, I met this guy, Quinn Snyder. Apparently he was like a big time basketball player at Duke and then coached college. And everyone was like, yeah, Quinn Snyder. And I was like, I don't know. But cool to see him up there, man. He told me.
Can we break some news?
Sure.
About what he was talking about. We were going to do like a D League series sketch comedy show with him where he was going to be the coach, and we pitched it to him and he was in. And the premise was going to be like, one of the guys is a rising talent. He's going to go to the NBA, back and forth, kind of like the Ted Lasso, basically. But the villains were like actual billionaires in Missouri. Is it the Walmart people or whatever? He basically said like when he was coaching Missouri, the billionaires in Missouri gave him the hardest time of all time, and they're monsters.
Yeah, and Quinn also he told us a story that the Austin Toro San Antonio D League team had to share a locker room with a homeless men's group. So like they'd be like coming out of practice to take a shower, and then like they would open it for which is great for the homeless to shower.
Less than ideal.
Tough situation for coach. He wanted to get back in the good graces of the NBA, so he was nervous about doing any sort of show that might disparage.
Right. I might have said sketch comedy. I meant like sitcom. We were going to do like a sitcom with him, like Ted Lasso style, D League. Yeah. And he got scared off by the billionaires, essentially.
Cool to see him up there.
Yeah.
Wish he could get his goddamn Utah Jazz in order.
Yeah,
well, they're going to get fucking smoked by the Suns.
Donovan Mitchell getting hurt and being injured all the time.
Suns
it's really
in
not
4.
helping him out. The Clippers tied it up. Also, the Bucks are actually smashing the Nets at the beginning of the game.
Well, that's because
how many guys have you watched that?
Out.
How many times have you guys watched that Suns in 4 video?
At least 5.
When I watched it at first, I watched it over and over again because it was awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's one of the coolest. It's amazing.
Devin Booker, who's the best player on the Suns. He's the young guard. He's like, get me in contact with this dude.
That guy's gonna get the best jersey ever. So
I'm watching it for the first time right now.
Oh, really?
You haven't seen it?
4? Holy shit!
Suns and 4 guy is.
You need it on. You need to watch it with.
By the way, that I saw that like Bleacher Report or someone put out they recommended Suns at 65-1 a couple months before I bet on them at 25-1, and then now it's 4-1 odds. Suns are 4-1 to win the.
Oh man, you love to see a guy with a stupid haircut get pieced up.
Well, and they swung on him first. I mean, that guy, it's just the best video.
Oh, he's holding him like a dog that he's punishing.
Yeah. Well, you need to hear what he's saying to his buddy. He's like, I'm gonna fuck your boy up. And then he uppercuts him one more time, and then he gives him the Suns in 4.
Suns in 4. The best. It's just such a stamp on the end of it.
Those guys have so much gold on. The ones that
they crushed him. That guy without the chain, smashing him. Number 4, body sports, not ball sports. Shelby Houlihan, a middle distance runner who currently holds 2 U.S. records, says she's been banned from the Tokyo Olympics after testing positive for the steroid nandrolone. And Houlihan says that she's clean and that she blames the positive result on a pork burrito she ate from a food truck approximately 10 hours before.
So they were juicing the pigs?
No, she said apparently pork can mimic the anabolic steroid.
So she Googled that.
I guess. So she said that because she had eaten the pork burrito before her pee test, that made her look positive for nandrolone. Yeah. And then she gave that story to the people. She appealed the test, and they were like, "Nah, nope, you still can't play."
Major Elaine and Seinfeld with the the sesame bagel or whatever it was, the poppy seed bagel. Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, it seems like bullshit. I mean,
but the opposite. It's actually she took the steroids.
She took the steroids.
Yeah. She's in great shape. If it was an honest mistake, terrible luck for her and the local food truck who she threw under the bus completely, by name and everything. She swears she's never taken a PED, and also now
Lance Armstrong said.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
He said it
She's
for
an
a long
Olympic
time.
athlete.
Yep. Yeah.
Pretty sure all of them are on it.
He sure did say it for a long time. And then another body sport, boxing. Fury Wilder 3 is going down on July 24th, and they had their first press conference on Tuesday. It ended with an over 5-minute stare down. Have you guys seen the video? It's insane. They stared at each other in the face for
that's
over
great.
5 minutes.
That's great.
And eventually, like, their whole posse came up behind them, all started talking shit. And then finally Wilder put some glasses on and walked away. But it was like 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It was so ridiculous.
I'm ordering that fight for sure.
Oh, yeah. That was that's the best boxing match. The first two were incredible.
Mhm.
Number 3, Pat's going to tell us a little bit more about this later after the buzz.
I thought that was number 3.
No, that was 4 was a double body sports. 5 was ball sports.
Gotcha.
4 was body sports. Number 3, Girl Scout cookies surplus. The ladies in the Girl Scouts say they have 15 million extra boxes of cookies that they need to sell, which was harder this last 2 selling seasons because of COVID. The fucked up part is that they won't sell them now. The bakers still have them in their possession. They wouldn't sell them to the market because that would cheapen the selling season. So it looks like these extra cookies are just going to be going. I guess Pat will tell us where the fuck they're going later on. Is that what's happening, Pat?
Yeah, that's it's partly true. Partly true what you're saying, but
I'm excited.
They have to be eaten within the next year.
That is true.
Bury the lead, Pat.
And I know, pretty sure we won't any of us get our hands on them.
Well,
bury the lead, Pat.
All right, I'm
I
excited.
don't know about that. Maybe you got to stay tuned to the end of the show.
Yeah,
I'm excited to find out. Number 2, video games again. Where Nintendo announced all kinds of cool shit at E3 on Tuesday, including the next Zelda Breath of the Wild trailer. Looks really great, coming out in 2022. Mario Party Superstars coming out later this year in October. A new Metroid game called Metroid Dread. A bunch of other mini games. A 3-hour demo of gameplay. Basically the exact opposite of what
Capcom. Yeah, just trounced Capcom.
Yeah.
Got motivated by Capcom's cold set and just heated it up.
Yeah.
I also shout out a listener said we missed Elden Ring, I think is the name of it, when we did the first E3 review a couple days ago. That's a George R.R. Martin fantasy, and he helped write it. The guy who did
that's coming out.
Game of Thrones. He helped write a
pays for Meow Wolf.
What's Meow Wolf?
Meow Wolf, the art installation, and it's like the most
New Mexico.
in New Mexico. Yes.
Yeah, he lives in Santa Fe, and he just throws his cash at stuff secretly.
I heard that's
cool
pretty
shit.
cool. I heard Meow was pretty cool.
Oh, dude, Meow Wolf apparently is the coolest. It's like some of the best artists building these like insane installations that you like go through.
I have a friend that told me to go there.
Pretty good
Shout out Aaron. I might need to stay at her Airbnb, which is my story coming up, and go to Meow Wolf.
Nice. Meow Wolf sounds awesome. Santa Fe is a delightful city. Been there a bunch of times. And number 1 in the buzz, ask and you shall receive. Wes and I were wrong with our fuddy-duddy attitudes because the Senate did actually approve making Juneteenth a national holiday. It got passed by the Senate on Tuesday. It's going to go to the House next, and then where it will certainly pass, and then it'll be signed by
That's great
President
news.
Biden after that. So
That's
finally,
fantastic news.
If this is all he does, I'm happy. Honestly,
Yeah, right?
A new national holiday in the middle when we don't have one in June. So you have one in May and you have one in July. You don't have one in June. Now we have one in June. This is
That's
great.
right.
Juneteenth is a perfect one. We said it a couple days ago. This is fantastic.
Yesterday. Finally, some good news out of DC. Here's Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. He says, I just put a bill on the floor of the Senate from @Senator Markey and @Senator Tina Smith to make hashtag Juneteenth the federal holiday. It passed the Senate. Next up, it should pass the House, then to the President Biden's desk for signature. Those are all accurate, Chuck. Thank you for passing.
That's
the
great.
bill. Yeah. So that's good. That's the buzz. And today's buzz was brought to you by Talkspace. Using Talkspace feels a little like having a therapist inside your pocket. Very convenient. That's why being able to reach out to my therapist or psychiatrist anytime I need to from anywhere makes taking care of my mental health super easy, much easier than it was in the past having to go to offices. More relaxed when traveling, knowing that I need to talk to my therapist. I can anytime, send a message from wherever I'm at, and I can work through things in therapy at my own pace. Working through things in therapy can be tough, but connecting with your therapist isn't tough with Talkspace. Talkspace lets you send and receive unlimited messages with your dedicated therapist in the Talkspace platform 24/7. With Talkspace, you set goals with your therapist and they hold you accountable and make sure that you're really progressing. Therapy can help you shift your perspective, find tools to cope in difficult times, and be a guiding light. Very helpful for anybody that needs a little assistance figuring things out, which is everybody. Talkspace is a fraction of the cost of in-person therapy. Talkspace has thousands of licensed therapists with years of experience in over 40 specialties. Talkspace is secure and private using the latest end-to-end bank-grade encryption technology. As a listener of Hard Factor, you'll get $100 off your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com. Make sure to use the code HARDFACTOR, all one word, to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's Hard Factor at Talkspace.com.
Nice. How much do you guys usually like to spend on an Airbnb rental? Like compared to a hotel, do you which one do you cheap out on more? Which one do you splurge on more, Airbnb or hotel?
My slider doesn't go above 120 on Airbnb.
Okay, so you're cheap on Airbnb.
Yes.
120
Anyone else?
a night?
If I'm going, sometimes like if I go to Los Angeles for like a business, right? Like for like a week or so, I'll try to get like 220. So like a G a week about for business.
Nice spot. Yeah, you want to show off a
pleasure.
Yeah,
I mean 160.
Okay. So yeah, so there's two ends of the spectrum.
You're taking a date. You're taking your lady 300 probably.
Yeah. What if I told you that Airbnb would pay you millions of dollars to stay with them? There's just one catch: you have to get raped by the homeowner, and then keep quiet about it.
Millions.
What if I told you they'd pay you millions?
What's
you
your
just
price?
have to get raped.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I don't think I'm going to answer it, and no one else should either.
Okay. Unfortunately, a woman that stayed in a Manhattan Airbnb didn't have a choice on the getting raped part, and then was allegedly paid $7 million by Airbnb to, let's say, leave a good review, so to speak. According to a Bloomberg report, it's estimated that Airbnb pays an annual amount of over $50 million to pay legal settlements for monster hosts that commit crimes on their unsuspecting guests or have very unsafe living conditions that cause injuries. And then the flip side of that, which happens probably more but has smaller settlement amounts, like when guests break shit in Airbnb hosts' houses and refuse to pay it, like when Pat and PFT broke that poor lady's pool last year.
I did. That's okay. That's bullshit because I literally got the fucking hose out during my vacation and followed her stupid fucking instructions. I have a theory that
was that 25,000 you cost her?
I didn't hear shit about it. BFT might have had to spend his fucking contract bonus on it, but I'll tell you this: I think it's predatory. I think it's fucking predatory. I think these people, I have a theory that they put like a rule and they're like, hey, make sure that the pool is at a certain level, something you're not really going to think about.
I thought you were going to talk about the
right.
R word.
I'm glad you're going
Jesus,
with that example.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, some of these people do put out the ad and they're like, I hope it's a woman, be blonde.
What are you talking about?
The subject of the story. Look, $50 million though is a drop in the bucket for $100 billion company like Airbnb, right? If you're going to keep your name out of the news for bad things. By the way, this is the face of the guy you saw if you were attacked or severely injured in an Airbnb. This is Nick Shapiro, global head of trust and risk management for Airbnb from 2014 to 2019. That cleaned up a bunch of potential publicity nightmares for Airbnb. So if you saw him in person, something really bad already happened to you, and he tried to make it better with a check or a dry erase board he kept writing a number on and then erasing it and then writing a new one until you stopped crying. How about 5 million? Would 5 million turn that frown upside down? 7 million. Hey, you're the one raping me now. Right? Apparently.
I was worried about my anti-Semite joke in the beginning, but I feel much better about it now.
Oh no, sue me. It's a comedy show. Apparently the $7 million payout was to an Australian woman who stayed at a West 37th Manhattan rental with her friends for New Year's 2016, and when she returned home from the bars alone, she was met by a man who was hiding in her bathroom that somehow had keys to the apartment. He held a knife to her neck and then committed heinous crimes. The suspected piece of shit rapist is 24-year-old Junior Lee. He faces up to life in prison. He pleaded not guilty. That trial is still ongoing. So for what it's worth, hours after the 2016 assault, safety agents from Airbnb, who are the special team who worked cleanup for Shapiro, showed up with their briefcases of cash and their sexy bodies and their pretty smiles and their charming words, and put the victim up in a hotel, flew her mother in from Australia right away, and offered to pay any health and counseling fees because this was not their first rodeo. They had it down to a science whenever something like this happens.
Gave her some Xanax.
Oh, yeah. What did you say? Where are we going? Manhattan?
This is a fucked up job. This is like, so there's those people like in car insurance, like that got, like are on the scene immediately, like if there's a bad wreck or something. Like, so these people have like even more fucked up version of that. Like,
but there's no ambulance chasers in the biz, Will, because they're so good at their jobs. Former Airbnb safety agents, again, have quite the stories, and one would probably make a good guest on this show, as they have described many shocking incidents, like they had to clean up hosts who discovered, these are hosts now, who discovered dismembered human remains in their properties or bloodstains from people they rented out to. So I guess shit if I get shit if I don't put the dishes away correctly or do the dishwasher, and people are murdering people in these people's homes.
Bad move though to electronically secure your rental home for where you're going to kill somebody. Thinking a lot of those killers got caught.
I don't know, Will.
Saying because there's a lot of evidence you're leaving behind.
You're leaving a lot of evidence behind. You're leaving behind evidence in the house. You're leaving behind all the electronic evidence.
I'll get to maybe not, and I'll get to maybe not why in a little bit. Plus, some of those places are in fucking remote cabins. But yeah, what else? They also said there are tales of guests who had to run. Now back to the guest side. Guests who had to run from secluded cabins and hide in wardrobes after being assaulted by the host. So back to the host assaulting the guests. It's like, tomato. Everyone's committing murder in these places. So congratulations on surviving. Here's your check and an Airbnb sticker that you're required to put on the back of your car. And here's the NDA you got to sign, basically, which is the NDAs or non-disclosure agreements were something they did until 2017. So yeah.
Wow, man. I one time stayed in Airbnb in Hollywood that I thought was going to be nice. I'm sure everyone's had this experience. You think it's going to be in a decent neighborhood and it's not, right? It's that kind of thing. So got this Airbnb for like a week, was out there for business. And there's just something weird about it. Like there was a bunch of pictures on the wall, but they were the pictures like the when you buy a picture frame.
Stock photo, yeah.
Yeah. They were just a stock
I've
photo.
seen those in Airbnbs before.
And there was a bunch of cameras around the house that I made sure were all disconnected. And then the floor was like kind of sticky, like weirdly sticky. And I got a little intoxicated and was sitting on the floor, and then some lady came in the house and she was a prostitute. And I was like, wait a minute. So I'm like putting two and two together.
She's like, it's sticky there.
And I realized why the floor that I'm laying on is so fucking sticky. Because it smelled like breath.
Lay there.
And I was like, someone's dogs were probably in here. I was like, oh my God, that's not dogs. It was like it was a brothel gangbang house that they webcam stream.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, it's not Thursday.
Did you stick around?
Slept on the couch. We were locked in for the week.
Oh my God. Interesting. You gotta
That's Taz life right there.
Breeze. That's Tiz life. But yeah, the NDA things are interesting because until 2017, they made people sign NDAs saying they couldn't talk about it. But then the Me Too movement happened, and now Airbnb just kind of asks that their well-paid victims don't talk about the incidents, but doesn't make them sign a legal binding contract. Allegedly, it's kind of like, the payment installments are probably going to stop, but you can talk about your feelings if you want. Yeah.
Listen, I hate to say this, but like, if this is going to happen, the best place for it to happen is at an Airbnb. It sounds like.
Yeah,
because of the money. This is like
how many raped women get $7 million?
This is the same as the dentist.
Sorry,
that you gave a pass when you were like, or the doctor. You were like, well, at least it was him.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, looking at the bright side here.
Okay. I don't want to go back to the connotations of the doctor thing. And it may be the worst alleged incident of them all. A host found an Airbnb guest naked in bed with his 7-year-old daughter. He was like, whoa, get the hell out of here. Check-in's at 4.
Because he was there early.
They got in there early and caught the host with his daughter in bed.
Misdirection.
This is a fucked up story. I read a
Wait,
lot of fucked up jokes.
That really happened?
That really happened. The punchline was I made up what I would do in that
shit.
scenario, what I would say,
That's
But
disgusting.
yeah, someone walked in on a fucking host like that was like, hey, and like he was with his daughter. So yeah, I mean, not surprising that Airbnb does this, is it? Like, have you seen Dave Franco's directorial debut, or has to do this? Have you seen Dave Franco's directorial debut Rental, which is back to the point about Will? It's a 2020 horror movie where some serial killer kills people at Airbnbs that they're like, trying to make into a franchise. So like he kills the people that rent the Airbnb. He kind of like rents it before and has everything set up, and then you don't know who he is, and then he kills you. And yeah.
You know what's scary to me is when the host shows up when you check in and like want to like give you a bunch of instructions, like,
right,
hey, the only thing that goes in the toilet is toilet paper, okay? And you're like, okay, get the fuck out of here, buddy. I can read.
Well, now that I've
put some sodas in the fridge for you.
Right.
Now that I've ruined the plot for Rental, the host is the red herring. He keeps showing up and you're like, it's the host, and it's not.
Right.
It's like the serial killer that like gets his gigs. He rents it right before the people he kills.
I live above the garage, so I'll be around.
Dude, when we went to the fucking bachelor party, and I forget I got there first with someone else, and
in
we
Colorado.
walk in, like, wait a minute. This is one of those motherfucking situations where they rented you a goddamn Airbnb and there's another room in the house that the fucking guy is going to be in.
Yep.
Yeah. You didn't want to fuck with 13 dudes.
Is ruined.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also, by the way, this is also the plot of every Reddit or creepypasta horror story for the past decade. So this is not really a surprise that this is happening. I don't know about you guys. We kind of talked about with Pat, but I definitely assume the host is spying on me at every single Airbnb I go to. It doesn't stop me from going, and maybe I don't care if they watch me, but I definitely get high at every Airbnb, even though they explicitly tell me not to smoke in their house. And then I shout at the vents, I don't want your creepy ass to murder me, you creepy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
To be fair, I'll do that at a hotel too. So
okay.
Well, I don't.
Now Airbnbs as well.
That's a rule.
There's a hidden camera app on the iPhone called. I'm sure probably don't work that good. But then there's like for like $100 you can get a hidden camera detector.
This story's just making me want to stay at hotels only.
Yeah.
Oh, not in Korea, Will, because in Korea they'll film you there in that hotel. You got it safer at an Airbnb.
Well, it seems like
the whole genre of porn.
Like catch-22 or damned if you do, damned if you don't. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. Airbnbs have it like they're like worse than Uber with their stories. They're much better at covering them up.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Though, like you said.
Shapiro. All right.
Yeah, that guy. Look at this guy. You want to hire this guy. You want to hire this guy if you want to clean up the mess. Yeah.
Here he comes. All right. Let's take care of some business. How many subscriptions services are you guys paying each month? Do you know?
Unlimited.
Yeah. A lot, right? They add up. Sometimes you don't even notice them. They just fly out of your bank account. You probably signed up for a bunch during quarantine. Hulu here, Discovery Plus there. You want to watch this show. You forget to cancel it. All of a sudden, you've got 15 subscriptions, and you don't know what you're paying for. 80% of people have done that. They've forgotten about it.
I signed up for like a Kung Fu subscription. That's just Kung Fu movies.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch like one Kung Fu. Yeah, Christian movies.
Exactly.
Same thing with Christian movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. So you're probably one of them, and now you gotta figure out what you're paying that you don't need and get control of your finances. And you do that with Truebill. They can help you keep track of your bill payments and budgets. They can cancel your subscriptions for you. It's the smartest way to manage your finances. It's an easy to set up app, and you review your recurring charges all in one place. You can even cancel your subscriptions right there in the app. Just a variety of tools to get you your finances under control. You can track and evaluate your savings goals. You can put automated savings, so you can save. People like me that are terrible with money, that just takes money and saves it for me, and I don't even have to think about it. It's got fraudulent. You can identify fraudulent activity, a bunch of great stuff, and it works with many of your nation's top providers, and they'll negotiate lower bills for you, like AT&T, T-Mobile, Spectrum. So you think you spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, but you actually spend about $200 a month. So Truebill is the way to go. It's saved over $50 million for people around the world so far. So go to Truebill.com. The average person saves $720 a year with Truebill. And you can get started at Truebill.com/factor. Take control of your finances and start saving at Truebill.com/factor. That's Truebill.com/factor. And I actually use this. I'm a real customer and it works. It's great. Make sure to use that code factor to help us out.
Nice.
$720 a year. You could get murdered twice at Airbnbs for that.
Yeah.
It's true. What you got to also do is if once you use the Truebill, you got to make sure that nobody goes behind you and then opens up the subscription again, because that's
You mean your wife?
Mhm.
oh, yeah.
You mean you got to tell your wife that you signed up for Truebill and you're on to her?
Because those things will get reopened real quick.
Yeah. Don't take away any shows without telling anybody. All right, guys, it's time for the TikTok international moment. Today, we are going to go to our neighbors up north in Canada for a cat crisis, then on to New Zealand for some subliminal messaging, then on to Warsaw for a corpse viewing, and finally wrap things up in Taiwan, where Chinese aircraft don't give a fuck. So let's... Yeah, Suns in 4. We're going 4. Let's get going to Canada for one of my favorite headlines ever on this segment. Toronto rallies to save tiny kitten who was born without a butthole.
Oh no. Poor little cat.
Yeah. Here she is. Her name is Dora, and she was born without a butthole. The 8-week-old tortoiseshell kitten was brought into the Annex Cat Rescue. Posted to Instagram this. On June 9th, Dora was brought to the vet because she was showing signs of severe constipation. Unfortunately, Dora was diagnosed with an extremely rare birth defect, an imperforate anus. In other words, she was born without a butthole. So
This is kind of like when you buy a suit and the pockets don't open.
exactly.
Yes.
That. Exactly. Except she didn't even have the option to open up her pockets. She just didn't have pockets.
She didn't have the tiny little cloth knife.
Yeah, she didn't have the little
Scissors.
thing. Yeah, she didn't have it. Yeah. Can't return that suit. For 8 weeks, the poor kitten would just stand there in the litter box and look on enviously as her brothers and sisters effortlessly took craps. But poor Dora just couldn't figure it out. She began to think maybe she was just stupid, but it turns out it wasn't her fault at all. The cat rescue then took to the internet to raise the $6,500 it would take to remove all the backed up poop in the kitten's colon, as well as give her a brand new butthole and to repair a tear between the kitten's tiny pussy and her colon. So she's just a mess, really, is what's going on. The rescue team was able to raise over $10,000, and Dora had her surgery on Friday, but is still getting used to her brand new butthole and hasn't taken a crap yet. The team are monitoring. Yeah. Hadn't taken a crap yet.
Ceremonial butthole.
This isn't a feel good one. She's not out of the woods
What
yet.
the
here.
fuck?
Not quite out of the woods yet. The team they're monitoring her 24 hours a day and are asking that nobody tells the homeless about how much money the community spent on the cat's butthole.
I mean, for a cat, their butthole is the third most important part of their body. Like that, a cat's butthole is very
What's
integral
more important? What
to its catness.
I'd say the first most important.
The ears and its tail, I think.
Tail, maybe.
Tail.
Tail, maybe.
Well,
tail.
there's some tailless cats.
I don't mean functionally. I mean just in terms of how you identify a cat. Like, what are some of your favorite qualities in a cat? Its butthole, its tail,
whiskers.
Yeah,
whiskers.
Yeah, whiskers. Yeah.
I bet there's more cat buttholes painted than any other cat anatomy.
You're absolutely right about that.
Probably the face, maybe. If you don't include the eyes, the nose,
paws too. I'm sure.
Yeah, paws. Yeah. I don't think that's factual. Yeah,
but there are a lot of cat butthole teas. I will give you that, Pat. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's a sad one. But
sorry.
I would have paid $200 if I had heard that story for that cat's butthole.
Yeah. I'm going to hit that last line again. The team are monitoring her 24 hours a day and are asking that nobody tells the homeless about how much money the community spent on a cat's butthole. Okay, thank you.
Nailed it. And
from our editor, that was a request.
I didn't mean to interrupt your with the suit pockets. Did I step on anything there?
Nope, you didn't.
No,
the suit pockets was clean, very clean. Cool. Next, we go to New Zealand. Where a bunch of people with nothing better to do are up in arms about a stop smoking message that is displayed on the back of a bus, and they say is actually a subliminal message telling kids to quit school. So here's the ad. Now the article says, quote, the ad for the Ministry of Health's Quit Strong campaign features 2 young women taking a selfie in front of a colorful mural. The text reads, discover the best ways to quit for good. Quit Strong, New Zealand, and a smoke-free logo appears at the bottom of the image. Now the bus in question also had its school sign displayed, meaning that there were students aboard. So it looked like the ad was telling kids to quit school, according to one crazy person who filed a complaint saying the word school are much larger than the tiny smoke-free that the ad is meant to be focused on. So this ad has no place on a school bus. It shows what appears to be two teenage girls very happy about the idea of quitting school for good, blah, 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 complaining. Upon hearing the case, the Advertising Standards Authority Complaints Board Chairwoman Rowan Anderson admitted the placement was bad, but any idiot could see the sign was not advocating quitting school, and the girls of the ad were much older than school age, and ruled that the complaint be thrown out and the complainer should go sit at home so they can't bother anyone for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 because the person who's complaining, who's too dumb to understand it, probably quit school.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read a sign once. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a real run home jack instead of home run jack scenario.
It's like a snake eating its tail.
Yeah.
Go home and think about what you've done.
Yeah.
Don't bother anyone.
You're telling the kids to quit school.
Man, whenever
Just
someone,
stop complaining.
you got to ask yourself, like, what's it like to be married to that lady, that like took time out of her day?
She's not married. Next, we go to Warsaw, Poland, where obviously there isn't much to do because thousands of people waited hours in line to get a glimpse of the Sumatran Titan Arum, aka the extremely rare corpse flower, as it went into bloom. Here it is, something that only happens once every few years and is unpredictable. What makes it the corpse flower is that as it blooms, it lets off an odor that smells like death in order to attract pollinating insects that feed off of flesh. What also makes this flower special is that it has the largest inflorescence, which is the complete flower head of a plant, including its stems, stalks, bracts, and flowers of the plant, reaching nearly 10 feet in length. When the plant began blooming on Sunday afternoon, residents of Warsaw were told they had 24 hours to witness the event, but we're still lining up to see the bloom as of this morning.
Wow.
It's a Polish
joke.
It's a Polish joke.
Because they're stupid. I got it.
Oh, because it's already done. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Subtle, but
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank you. And finally to Asia, where I hate to tell you this, Taiwan, but China wants your ass, and China going to get your ass. And China is making no bones about how bad they want that Taiwanese ass, as Tuesday they flew 28 fighter jets, bombers, anti-submarine planes into Taiwan's Air Defense Identified Zone, or the ADIZ, Tuesday, which is the largest incursion since the self-ruled island began regularly reporting actions like this last year, according to the Taiwan Ministry of Defense. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration defines the ADIZ as, quote, a designated area of airspace over land or water within which a country requires the immediate and positive identification, location, and air traffic control of aircraft in the interest of the country's national security. China defines ADIZ as a space where little Taiwanese pussies don't do shit when we fly 28 planes right into it and then go tattle to America like little sissy boys. That's what they define it as.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fun game.
They don't see eye to eye on that.
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how Bill has a Biden beef. You have a beef we don't know about with Taiwan.
What's that?
What? Oh, nothing.
No, he's saying Taiwan's.
You picking on Taiwan? You think
I
they're
am.
soft?
Yeah, I am. Yes.
I'm getting that. I didn't know that you were anti-Taiwan.
No, I'm just having a little fun. One of the planes that made the incursion was apparently a Skyrider that wrote, "Hey, little sissy down below, we coming for that ass because that ass is our ass and always has been our ass." So we'll see how that goes.
And we're gonna lick that ass.
We're gonna get that ass.
Make sure to take a shower tonight.
Hey, little sissy down below.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh my God. This show's off the rails.
Hey,
It
well,
is off the rails.
You took it back. You got the mantle back about
What
jokes
the fuck
we worried
Wednesday?
about.
Yeah, we passed the torch
Yeah, the torch has been
to
reignited.
risque jokes. It's in West.
Contact Hard Factor News at Gmail for advertising.
I just know that there's always like a listener to replace the one that just left,
Right. Right.
They know
And
what they get.
sometimes they come back and they forget. They forget
always
how we are.
come
Yeah.
A guilty pleasure. That's
All
that's it. That's an TikTok international.
That's all four of them.
That's all four of them.
Nothing else.
No.
All right, guys. Here at Hard Factor, we like to use our platform to shine a light on stories that deal with issues that the mainstream media is too scared to cover, and today is no different. So I'm going to ask all of our listeners not to just learn about the issue that I'm going to talk about, but actually put their size 38 pants on and do something about it. Okay? Because for the first time since their inception, the Girl Scouts of America have a surplus of unsold Thin Mints on their hands to the tune of 15 million boxes, as Will alluded to at the top of the show. And what kind of, with that kind of inventory being unsold, it means that unless we do something about it, someone's going to have to break it to 1.7 million 10 to 18-year-old little scouts that there isn't going to be a jamboree, there isn't going to be a bridging or fly-up ceremony, and there certainly will be no Court of Awards this year, okay? Because this is going to make for a serious fundraising gap. And according to Kelly Parisi, a spokeswoman for Girl Scouts of the USA, the coronavirus, not thinner Thin Mint demand, is to blame for the pastry plethora, as many troops curtailed their cookie commerce. Yeah, see, the Girl Scouts guys normally sell around 200 million boxes of cookies a year, which kind of blew me away. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Right.
That's like almost how many people are in the U.S.? 400 million. That's like a half a box a person. Is that?
It's a lot.
They get me for 5 every year. So
Well, yeah, Wes is helping out there.
You're doing your part, Wes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta get like at least 4 boxes of cookies.
Yeah, you got it. What's the point? You got to get one of each, and then
Who gets
328
one box of Girl Scout
328
cookies?
million. So that's like 2/3 of a box a person. Jeez.
we'll get into that, Mark. It's a lot. So you like Thin Mints, for example. There's 32 Thin Mints per box. So 200 million boxes. That's a fuck ton of cookies. Now, they sell these things, guys, for $5 a box. So it's between 800 million to $1 billion worth of income a year. But a reduction of almost 10% in sales means that troops will have to switch to paper sashes and also invisible merit badges, which on the bright side would be really good for thirsty scouts who want badges without the work and aren't above lying, you know? Yeah, no, I totally got a gold award. It's right there. You can't see it, though. Gold
I got
award.
the honor badge for
Yep.
not lying.
I got them all. My sash is full. Guys,
Yeah.
one troop in Albuquerque has been stuck with more than 22,000 boxes of cookies. And before they can even think about introducing an economist badge so they can learn about more effective sales forecasting, they need to move those goddamn cookies. You see?
Yeah, but those are the only ones they'll let you buy, is the ones that are out on the street already.
Well, it's so what you alluded to, Will, is that they couldn't sell to grocery stores, which is true, but we're going to get to. But it's not that they can't be sold. See, guys, this
How many Girl Scouts? Did you say how many Girl Scouts there are?
1.7 million girls, 2.5 million members of the organization.
And the $1 billion. Is that 10? Okay.
It's a lot.
I'm just trying to like where's all the money going every year? Like, there shouldn't they be balling? Shouldn't they have like castles? Shouldn't they have like a Mormon style castle, church castles, like where they like do the Girl
They
Scouts?
probably, I mean, the Girl Scout leaders.
Where's the
get
money
paid
going?
really well, I'm sure of
Apparently.
that. But,
further to Mark's point, the Girl Scouts don't need to have like some victim hush fund like the Boy Scouts did. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
it frees up a lot of
knock on
capital.
fucking wood.
Sure
Knock
they
on
don't,
fucking
Pat.
wood.
yeah, let's just put all of our faith completely.
Yeah, that's a head in the sand.
In the fact that
naive
they'll
take,
always be good.
yes, we won't
The
go down
Girl
that road. But
You
never
want to pull up
happened.
the lady molester stat compared to the male molester stat?
Oh,
It's
sure.
going to be upsetting.
It's not
Sure.
0.0.
right.
Yeah, but it's not like it doesn't exist. I'm sure
Yeah,
girls
but
have
it's at a public
horrible
school level.
experiences in the Girl Scouts.
It's at a public
Pretty
school
sure
level.
girls get assaulted like 100 times more than boys.
Not in the Girl Scouts. Guys, the Scouts hope that online sales and a delivery partnership with Grubhub would make up for their waning wafer woes, but that didn't pan out. Between COVID, declining membership in the Girl Scouts generally, and an Associated Press article from December 2020 that shed light on the fact that the majority of the palm oil being used in Girl Scout cookies is mined by 10-year-old Indonesian girls who work 12 hours a day without pay. And that really put a dent in the market. So to you guys, I say, unless you want to take away the only compensation that those preteen Indonesian girls receive, which is knowing that somewhere in America, fat men and women are eating their feelings with the palm oil that they harvested, then you need to step up and do something about it. And it's not just the Girl Scouts and the Indonesian girls who are going to suffer. It's the bakers too. Because as of right now, the majority of the cookies, around 12 million boxes, remain with 2 bakers, 2 of them small businesses in Louisville, Kentucky, the Little Brownie Bakers, and in Brownsburg, Indiana, ABC Bakers. So they are
I would have
holding.
thought I would have thought Nike made them when you were talking about the people overseas not getting any pay.
Yeah, that was a whoopsie. They changed their palm oil provider now. But for years, you were eating the tears and blood and sweat of
Yeah, well, you wear them on your feet and your shirts, and okay, right.
So these guys are holding on to 384 million cookies right now, which is more than a cookie per person for the entire U.S. population. And as Will said at the top of the show, they have a shelf life of less than 12 months, guys. And the bakers can't sell. This is what you were getting at, Will. They can't sell directly to grocery stores because it's a Girl Scout policy that might diminish the importance of annual cookie sales. But they are, in fact, left holding the bag. So it's not the Girl Scouts, it's the fucking bakers who are left holding the bag with 12 million boxes of unsold cookies. But they may sell to institutional buyers like prisons. So it could be pretty sweet to be incarcerated this summer.
Okay. They're going to try to sell them to prisons, but if they can't, they're just going to give them to food banks.
Well, both of those are fine by me. Let me rewind it a little bit. There's 2 bakers.
Yeah. So it depends on which state you're in. It depends on which state you're in.
They're probably trillionaires anyways. They make like what? Oh,
they make a ton of money.
They had one bad crop season.
This is a real feel bad for nobody.
I feel horrible for these 2 bakers.
The Girl Scouts who might
200 million boxes of cookies that get sold here.
Okay,
no, so you know who I feel bad for in this story? U.S. citizens.
Yeah, the people can't get the cookies.
They couldn't get Girl Scout cookies this year because the fucking the stands were shut down.
No, you could have gotten them from Grubhub. Grubhub, in fact, agreed to waive the delivery fees.
Yeah, well, nobody fucking knew that, and that's why they have 15 billion boxes left over.
Maybe there should be an advertising badge that they instill.
An advertising badge would kick ass.
Thin mints are also great
practical for future life stuff.
Yeah, they are great in the freezer. Wes and Will, you brought up an interesting point, which is food banks. Before we get to that real quick, what are you going to do about it? I recommend that you buy some fucking Girl Scout cookies today. Support the girls, support the Indonesians. Yes, you can. Support the Indonesians. Contact the baker. They'll ship them to you. Let's take it to the internet, though, guys, specifically to Washington Post's Facebook page, where instead of finding a solution, grown adults spent about 10 hours and 786 comments taking shots at each other. Let's kick it off with our boy, Paul Bowling MD. That's a pretty sick brag on Facebook. He says,
was the youngest doctor in the world.
He's pretty young. He's definitely an overachiever. He says, those things are calorie bombs. Send them to homeless shelters. Pretty good idea, right? Yeah, pretty good idea. Well, you don't know the fucking internet if you think that, because our girl Peggy Spicer Duncan came back and said, why entice the homeless to eat sugar? And she wasn't alone.
By she meant me.
Wait, hold on.
Entice me to eat sugar. It looks like
she's 98 years old
and homeless.
That's a real picture.
Okay.
But she wasn't alone with that opinion. Teresa Harris clapped back and said, why, Paul? Are they expendable?
Here we
Referring
go.
to the homeless.
They don't have food. That's why. And they're free fucking cookies. Who are these people?
This is the comment section. Okay, this next comment's great because and you find this in any good comment section. This was one of the more electric comment sections I've seen in a long time. There's the discussion that's happening, and then there's the left fielder who wants to come in and tell you something personal about themselves that really doesn't relate to the story.
I was homeless. It's gonna be I was homeless.
There's no better example than Sandy
I was homeless
Hernandez.
for 4 years.
Sandy Hernandez says, as someone who couldn't swallow last year for 10 weeks and had to be on a liquid diet, at first, not even puree, my dietitians had to be creative in how to get in at least 800 calories. As many days, I was only getting in 200 to 500 calories.
More.
So thank you, doctor. At that point, it was calories are calories. Completely unrelated to the discussion. Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Our boy AJ Coog pops in saying, because the homeless deserve to be fat. Obviously, the MD stands for medically deranged. People are not liking Paul.
Bunch of fat homeless.
What are these people's problems? Like the fucking homeless guy is like, he just like,
you know how much they want a Thin Mint? Yeah.
He's smoking crack. He's smoking cigarettes. You can't give him a fucking cookie.
They would kill for Thin Mints.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they really would. Well, okay. So Paul finally kind of claps back, and he's mostly answering Teresa Harris here. So Paul claps back and says, Teresa Harris, because homeless people often suffer from a calorie deficit, resulting in undernourishment. These pack a ton of calories in a small box.
He just was so he was so calm.
Very
He has
matter
no
of fact.
idea what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Paul, this is Paul Bolin, MD. And Teresa Harris claps back. Teresa says, empty calories with zero nourishment. How does that improve health? Sugar generally contributes to poor health and dental problems. The homeless do not have easy access, if any access, to dentists or
Don't
doctors.
say.
Good point, Teresa.
Well, Paul says, you know what else leads to medical problems? Starvation.
Got her. What the fuck is wrong with these people complaining about giving away cookies to the homeless? I mean, look, I wish that
It's
people
got to be organic.
I wish
Cookies.
people could buy them, but they can't. So you got to give them away to people. And the homeless are there to eat the cookies.
That was amazing.
These
The
are just
one-
the highlights. It
You
was
got more?
786 comments. Well, I have one more.
One more.
It's
Okay.
really more of a cherry
Please.
on top. Ramsey Earl replying to Paul Bolin says, also, they may have fond memories of these cookies and experience some joy. referring to
Jesus
the Crisco
Christ.
cookies from the
Well, that's
homeless.
nice of Ramsey. Looking at the bright side, right, Wes? Like you were saying, with all those Airbnb cases and
That's right.
wrongful inseminations. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Mhm.
silver
Yeah.
lining.
Right.
So, yeah, went a little
think
deeper on the comment section
Shapiro.
there. Let
I
us
think-
know, guys,
I
if
think
you
we did
want
fine today.
Let us know, guys, if you want us to sometimes. I think it'd be kind of be cool. We've been toying with this idea for a long time, but I think it would be cool to go deep dive into the comment section with people's profile pictures, what they do, etc. If that would be interesting to you, let us know via a tweet, and we'll create that content for the Patreon. Yeah, I think that's it. Is there anything else we're missing?
I've got a really racy joke if you want.
Have a great fucking day.